Chapter 4 of the Red Fairy Book. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Darla Ely. The Red Fairy Book by Andrew Lang. Chapter 4. The Death of Koshchei the Deathless. In a certain kingdom there lived a Prince Ivan. He had 3 sisters. The first was the Princess Marya, the second the Princess Olga, the third the Princess Anna. When their father and mother lay at the point of death, they had thus enjoined their son: "Give your sisters in marriage to the very best suitors who come to woo them. Don't go keeping them by you." They died, and the prince buried them, and then, to solace his grief, he went with his sisters into the garden green to stroll. Suddenly the sky was covered by a black cloud. A terrible storm arose. "Let us go home, sisters," he cried. Hardly had they got into the palace when the thunder pealed, the ceiling split open, and into the room where they were came flying a falcon bright. The falcon smote upon the ground, became a brave youth, and said: "Hail, Prince Ivan! Before I came as a guest, but now I have come as a wooer. I wish to propose for your sister, the Princess Marya." "If you find favor in the eyes of my sister I will not interfere with her wishes. Let her marry you, in God's name." The Princess Marya gave her consent. The falcon married her, and bore her away into his own realm. Days follow days, hours chase hours, a whole year goes by. One day Prince Ivan and his 2 sisters went out to stroll in the garden green. Again there arose a storm cloud with whirlwind and lightning. "Let us go home, sisters," cries the prince. Scarcely had they entered the palace when the thunder crashed, the roof burst into a blaze, the ceiling split in twain, and in flew an eagle. The eagle smote upon the ground and became a brave youth. "Hail, Prince Ivan! Before I came as a guest, but now I have come as a wooer." And he asked for the hand of the Princess Olga. Prince Ivan replied: "If you find favor in the eyes of the Princess Olga, then let her marry you. I will not interfere with her liberty of choice." The Princess Olga gave her consent and married the eagle. The eagle took her and carried her off to his own kingdom. Another year went by. Prince Ivan said to his youngest sister: "Let us go out and stroll in the garden green." They strolled about for a time. Again there arose a storm cloud with whirlwind and lightning. "Let us return home, sister," said he. They returned home, but they hadn't had time to sit down when the thunder crashed, the ceiling split open, and in flew a raven. The raven smote upon the floor and became a brave youth. The former youths had been handsome, but this one was handsomer still. "Well, Prince Ivan, before I came as a guest, but now I have come as a wooer. Give me the Princess Anna to wife." "I won't interfere with my sister's freedom. If you gain her affections, let her marry you." So the Princess Anna married the raven, and he bore her away into his own realm. Prince Ivan was left alone. A whole year he lived without his sisters. Then he grew weary, and said: "I will set out in search of my sisters." He got ready for the journey. He rode and rode, and one day he saw a whole army lying dead on the plain. He cried aloud: "If there be a living man there, let him make answer. Who has slain this mighty host?" There replied unto him a living man: "All this mighty host has been slain by the fair Princess Marya Morevna." Prince Ivan rode further on, and came to a white tent, and forth came to meet him the fair Princess Marya Morevna. "Hail, Prince," says she, "whither does God send you, and is it of your free will or against your will?" Prince Ivan replied: "Not against their will do brave youths ride." "Well, "If your business be not pressing, tarry a while in my tent." Thereat was Prince Ivan glad. He spent 2 nights in the tent, and he found favor in the eyes of Marya Morevna, and she married him. The fair Princess Marya Morevna carried him off into her own realm. They spent some time together, and then the Princess took it into her head to go a-warring. So she handed over all the housekeeping affairs to Prince Ivan, and gave him these instructions: "Go about everywhere, keep watch over everything, only do not venture to look into that closet there." He couldn't help doing so. The moment Marya Morevna had gone he rushed to the closet, pulled open the door, and looked in. There hung Koshchei the Deathless, fettered by 12 chains. Then Koshchei entreated Prince Ivan, saying: "Have pity upon me and give me to drink. 10 years long have I been here in torment, neither eating nor drinking. My throat is utterly dried up." The prince gave him a bucket full of water. He drank it up and asked for more, saying: "A single bucket of water will not quench my thirst. Give me more." The prince gave him a second bucketful. Koshchei drank it up and asked for a third, and when he had swallowed the third bucketful he regained his former strength, gave his chains a shake, and broke all 12 at once. "Thanks, Prince Ivan," cried Koshchei the Deathless. "Now you will sooner see your own ears than Marya Morevna." And out of the window he flew in the shape of a terrible whirlwind, and he came up with the fair Princess Marya Morevna as she was going her way, laid hold of her, and carried her off home with him. But Prince Ivan wept full sore, and he arrayed himself and set out a-wandering, saying to himself, "Whatever happens I will go and look for Marya Morevna." One day passed, another day passed. At the dawn of the 3rd day he saw a wondrous palace, and by the side of the palace stood an oak, and on the oak sat a falcon bright. Down flew the falcon from the oak, smote upon the ground, turned into a brave youth, and cried aloud, "Ha, dear brother-in-law, how deals the Lord with you?" Out came running the Princess Marya, joyfully greeting her brother Ivan, and began inquiring after his health, and telling him all about herself. The prince spent 3 days with them. Then he said, "I cannot abide with you. I must go in search of my wife, the fair Princess Marya Morevna." "Hard will it be for you to find her," answered the falcon. "At all events leave with us your silver spoon. We will look at it and remember you." So Prince Ivan left his silver spoon at the falcon's, and went on his way again. On he went one day, on he went another day, and by the dawn of the 3rd day he saw a palace still grander than the former one, and hard by the palace stood an oak, and on the oak sat an eagle. Down flew the eagle from the oak, smote upon the ground, turned into a brave youth, and cried out, "Rise up, Princess Olga! Hither comes our brother dear." The Princess Olga immediately ran to meet him, and began kissing him and embracing him, asking after his health, and telling him all about herself. With them Prince Ivan stopped 3 days. Then he said, "I cannot stay here any longer. I am going to look for my wife, the fair Princess Marya Morevna." "Hard will it be for you to find her," replied the eagle. "Leave with us a silver fork. We will look at it and remember you." He left a silver fork behind and went his way. He travelled 1 day, he travelled 2 days. At daybreak on the 3rd day he saw a palace grander than the first 2, and near the palace stood an oak, and on the oak sat a raven. Down flew the raven from the oak, smote upon the ground, turned into a brave youth, and cried aloud, "Princess Anna, come forth quickly, our brother is coming." Out ran the Princess Anna, greeted him joyfully, and began kissing and embracing him, asking after his health, and telling him all about herself. Prince Ivan stayed with them 3 days. Then he said, "Farewell! I am going to look for my wife, the fair Princess Marya Morevna."